So the other day I posted a video going over some Kickstarter projects that I found either quite scummy or were blatant scams. One of these projects was a game known as the Spider Combat Arena prototype, and it turns out the project lead really did not like what I had to say. However, instead of debunking my claims like a normal civilized adult, he instead decided to have an entire meltdown on stream. Funnily enough, I made him so mad that he scrolled through my comment section, found out I was going to make this response, and either deleted or privated his stream on his YouTube channel. Well, sorry to say it, but I do still have the video. Now, I'm going to organize his points for all of you since he has the superhuman ability to quite literally trail off and ramble on about things that have zero significance to my video. I'm not even joking, about 10% of his rant was debunking my claims and the other 90% were just making fun of my looks. To start off, my title alone pissed him off to the point where he already began calling me some fat guy.
These Kickstarters, I don't know who this fat guy is, should be illegal.
Then he literally heard my voice for less than 3 seconds and immediately starts rambling for the next 13 minutes about how busy he is. One of the biggest problems I had with this project was its lack of practically anything. His Kickstarter hasn't been updated ever. On Twitter, he was at the very least posting some game development. However, at some point he just kind of gave up, and he does give a reason for this, but that is a lot later. And he thinks that his words alone are enough to convey some sort of trust. I also need to mention that he claims since I, the certified prehistoric caveman incel, has no idea about game development at all, that I am not allowed to comment on it.
You have to think about these things. And I know many of these fucking dweebs don't know fucking anything and they've never worked for in a corporate environment. This is what I'm talking about. It's stupid fucking kids who say stupid shit that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Since this guy does seem to be quite political, I'm just saying, man, I'm practicing my First Amendment rights. Free speech, baby. Either way, just keep that in mind for now. I would honestly like to get to when he starts debunking my claims, but apparently he had a hard time watching my video due to my repulsive appearance. He unironically goes on an entire spiel about how ugly I look. That's great, man. You still haven't heard a single point I made, and you're already losing your shit.
What do you think little fucking, I don't know, Jose has done? And I'm gonna call you Jose because I don't fucking know what your fucking name is.
I guess nowadays if you look Hispanic, that gives people the moral right to call you the most stereotypical Spanish name. You could have literally taken a single second to just look at my channel's name and decipher my real name, but I guess you're really just that lazy. And I guess that still wasn't enough for him.
And shit like that. This man looks like a pre-evolved fucking human being, living in his parents' basement.
My parents must have one hell of a basement if they also have a window. Regardless, why the fuck does any of this matter? You still haven't heard me say a single thing about your game and you've already resorted to attacking me? Anyways, after about another year of rambling, he finally hears me mention copyright infringement and immediately goes ballistic while again pulling up Spider Fighter.
Once again, stupid as fuck. How many times have we gone over this? Do you think Sony sued them? They just straight up taking poses. They took the whole shebang. They got the spider on the chest. They got fucking everything, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? Do you know anything about copyright laws?
Let me explain this to you in the simplest way possible. Marvel and in turn Disney own the copyrights and trademarks to the Spider-Man character, story, image, name, all that. Copyright in this situation isn't that important. What is important are trademarks. Trademarks are a way for a company or author to have their creations not be used so freely by pretty much anyone in the world. However, you cannot trademark body movements over here because nobody created the human body. Nobody created a pose because quite literally anyone can do it. So your claim that Spider Fighter is in any way infringing anything just because the promotional images have spider-like poses is completely untrue. The only thing that matters is the Spider-Man costume because Marvel has a trademark for the Spider-Man costume. Spider Fighter knew this and knew that the only thing they needed to change to be completely free of any charges is just the model. And now it's not Spider-Man, it's just some random delinquent called Spider Fighter. You, on the other hand, decided to use a Spider-Man model on your Kickstarter project to sell your product. It does not matter that you added 2 little extra legs onto the spider logo. It does not matter that you changed around the design just to make it look a little different. The point is, if I showed this image to someone, anyone basically on a random street, they are going to think that is Spider-Man. And that is what a trademark is supposed to protect in the first place. I swear to God, do not give me the defense that this is a personal project. You are selling it. That makes it commercial. And I swear to God, do not give me the defense that this is just a fan-made project. By definition, fan-made projects are illegal, especially if you use copyrighted material. Why do you think Nintendo fucks around and just throws DMCAs at pretty much everyone? So I urge you to stop acting as if you did nothing wrong. You are technically breaking the law. In the end, it really is up to Marvel or Disney to decide how they want to enforce their copyright. For example, I have this Spooderman here I bought at a local market in Peru, and I'm pretty sure that market or the seller was not affiliated with them either, but did they really care? While researching this whole thing too, I also found out that Marvel did hold a trademark for the title The Spider. However, that trademark was really only for comics, and it was also abandoned back in 2006, so you lucked out this time. But I'm assuming that's why you use the title, to drive at least some clicks to your game. My next claim he attempts to debunk is advertising a healing function as if it were unique. I will admit, I should have made myself a little more clear. My point was that you were advertising what is basically an expected feature in every combat game nowadays. I just thought it was stupid that you were wasting time in your Kickstarter trailer talking about something I already knew. Wow, really? If I don't get hit, I'll heal. Holy shit, what's next? If I move my mouth, I start speaking? Though, you spent 2 seconds talking about this point and the next 10 minutes making fun of me.
This ooga booga looking fucking caveman pre-evolved motherfucker. Instead of worrying about me, you should be worrying about that fucking stash on your fucking face, bro. This man's hair's all over the place. How you got wrinkles at fucking what? I don't even know what you are.
Yeah, sure, I grow facial hair slowly, whatever. What about that fucking matters? And also, since you don't seem to understand how wrinkles work, let me quickly explain. I am blind as fuck. I do have glasses, but I'm sure as you can already see, the prescription is super strong. I much prefer not to wear them, which is why whenever I have to read anything, even if it's as close as my monitor right here, I have to squint or like this. And since I've been doing this for the past couple of years, over time the creases start to just remain permanent. Wrinkles aren't only the cause of just aging. As much as I want to continue going over his claims, he unfortunately could not go 30 seconds without continuing to ramble on about my looks.
You may have cancer, okay, Jose? You may want to get that checked out. I don't know what the fuck is going on over here, bro. Those look like you have tumors, bro.
2 years ago, I had really bad acne to the point where I had to put paper towels in my mask because it would just randomly start bleeding. Although the remnants of it aren't really noticeable on my face, the scars over here on my neck remained pretty much permanent. According to my dermatologist, these acne scars cannot go away naturally, at least not in my case, and the best they can do is just flatten them with some steroids, but only temporarily. I am looking to get laser surgery as this is one of my biggest insecurities alongside my psoriasis. My body produces more white blood cells than normal, and that has the unfortunate side effect of making my scalp very dry alongside parts of my forehead, which is why I have this red rash here, which you for some reason want to use as a way to bring up illegal immigration and the border.
Is that a border on your forehead? I know you're all about fucking illegal immigration or DACA, but I've never seen somebody with a border on their fucking forehead.
Unfortunately, this medical condition cannot be cured. I have to literally inject myself with medicine every 8 weeks just to keep it in check, and the moment I stop or miss a single dose, it'll just come back full force. So, and since you also want to comment on my hair, I do have a lot of gray and white hair. Obviously, the white hair is just from stress built up over the years, but the gray hair is hereditary. All of the men in my family have a lot of gray hair. It just so happens that my gray hair came in much sooner, literally at the age of 11. Like, I'm sorry I wasn't born with the perfect genes. It's not really something I could have controlled. However, I still don't understand why you felt the need to comment on every single part of my face when we're supposed to be just talking about your goddamn Kickstarter. What happened to not being able to speak about things you aren't knowledgeable in? You clearly didn't even know what acne scars were because you for some reason called all of this cancer. Not to mention, I doubt you even knew what the word psoriasis meant or that it even existed until I explained it to you. So what, I guess I'm not allowed to shit on your project because I don't know anything about game development, but you're allowed to shit on my medical conditions despite not knowing anything about it. Do you feel strong yet? Do you feel powerful? Well, I guess not, because that's not the last time you speak about all of this. Anyways, he finally gets back into trying to debunk my claims, this time about the concept art.
You can see that the spider logo in the chest goes out of the shirt and onto the jacket. And here's also another really big...
Yeah, what's the problem with that? I don't understand.
Now, he's either confirming the art is AI, or that he does not understand art in general. If he is confirming that it is AI, that is completely fine. I'm not trying to treat AI like Voldemort here. I use it in my thumbnails too to get rid of backgrounds backgrounds and upscale images. However, I mentioned that point because I don't want you to be taking credit for something you did not create. Not to mention, if it also is AI, Kickstarter has you clarify that you have rights to the images that will be used to create the AI images, not the rights to the AI itself. If you are not confirming that it is AI, then oh boy, let me explain to you something real quick. Let's take this crudely drawn spider logo over here and put it on my shirt. Now, as you can see, when my jacket goes over the spider logo, the logo disappears basically halfway. It's as simple as something covering something else. You even have fan art where the spider logo is hidden underneath the jacket because the fan art was made by an actual artist that knows what the fuck he's doing. Also, this next inconsistency might have to do with the resolution of the image, but MJ's hair strand starts blending into the line art of the shirt's collar. Only AI would make mistakes like this due to their tendency to basically just nab from what already exists. And like I said, if you use AI, that's perfectly fine, but for the love of God, disclose it and credit it because you do not own anything in that case. Now, my next point, I will admit I was completely wrong on. The way I understood it was that he was allocating the funds from his Kickstarter to a charity. However, he makes it clear that the funds allocated will be the money generated from the actual game. Though I still don't understand why he had to use this moment as a way to throw out another subtle racist remark.
Do you see what I'm talking about? This is what happens when English is not your first language.
Tienes razón. Inglés no es mi primer idioma. But you don't know anything about me. You've made that comment only because I looked Hispanic to you. I guess if you look Hispanic, you're not allowed to have English as your first language anymore. I also can't ignore the fact that he says, I have no skills other than to run my mouth. I spoke about your game for 4 minutes. You spoke about your game for about 10 minutes at most, and another 50 or so minutes about just my appearance. If you don't put your live stream back up on your channel, I will re-upload the entire section where you talked about my video and also me, and then people could truly see what running your mouth looks like. Oh, he looks like a prehistoric caveman. Let me jump around and make the same joke as many times as I possibly can because I can't come up with anything different.
Don't you have, where's little father caveman and mother caveman to tell you, listen, Jose, stop playing online. You goofy bitch. You goofy fucking mouth. Imagine looking like this shit, man. Imagine looking like a old caveman. Fucking goiter coming out your
I hit computer and stuff happens.
You look like an old caveman.
I know you look like you wear some
caveman. We got ourselves over here. You motherfucking face down. Okay. You don't even need her. They got a bigger problem. I don't know now, right? Now like a dirty ass boy. They evaded yourself. This was nigga. So go ahead. You might have dumb because instead of lying about what other niggas I know.
Oh, actually, sorry guys. He did finally come up with a new joke, making fun of the PS5 box I have sitting up here.
Who the hell still has their PS5 box and posts it up on a fucking table?
We also have my PS5 controller box. We have my Elgato box here. We have my Intel Core i9 box, probably my favorite box out of all of these. And we also have this Harry Potter collector's box, which had all the books, but the books are gone because they're on my bookshelf. Still though, why exactly do you care? I guess even you realized that your caveman insult was getting boring and you just decided to attack my fucking box. Great, man. You're so clever. You're so smart. How did you come up with that? I could never have done it myself. Now, he completely misconstrues my next point and decides to even put words in my mouth. First of all, I never said your game was going to cost $100,000. I said that a game was very expensive to make, and I put a screen grab related to costs of mobile games as an example. I even put the little subtext there saying this is for a mobile game, so people wouldn't think that I was saying your game was going to cost $100,000. Then the other problem I had was that he was advertising a prototype as if it were a complete game. The thing most people focus on is your Kickstarter trailer, in which the only time you mention prototype is when you say the game's title. I'll be honest with you, I completely missed the fact that the game was supposed to be a prototype until it was pointed out to me by someone else on Reddit. Still though, although you did have a decent rebuttal here, it is immediately thrown out by even more insults on my appearance. Are you really still not satisfied? I do know that Kickstarter set their goals low in order to actually hit them. However, I always think that's a stupid ass practice to begin with. Imagine backing a game, helping it reach its donation goal, and then all of a sudden you're asked for more money. Some people will obviously give you the money, but others will not. And if you don't raise the money you actually need, you're either preying on a miracle or you're going to have to release a half-baked product. A half-baked product that people paid $800 for. I've seen it time and time again. You you are nothing special. You are just one of the many crowdfunding scams I've gone over on this channel. The only difference is that you are the only one who had a meltdown over what I had to say. You somehow handled this situation even worse than Soulja Boy. You know what Soulja Boy did when I shit talked his game? He ignored me. If your subscribers heard what I had to say, none of them would even give a shit in the first place. And just for the people in the back over there, you do not need the intention to scam people for your project to be a scam. If people are paying money for something they are clearly not getting, not even updates on, that is a scam. Onto the topic of updates, the reason he has no devlogs or updates, if you can believe it, is because he thinks they are pointless and boring.
What is there to do a video on? Game development is not anything interesting. It's not fucking interesting, bruh. I do animation streams. Unless you're into animation or it's just soothing to people, that shit is boring.
That is completely untrue and honestly one of the dumbest fucking claims I've ever heard in my life. Any entrepreneur or businessman would want as many eyes on their projects as possible, and the best way to do that is release updates even to people who have no involvement in the game currently. My most anticipated game right now is an indie game known as Billy Bust Up, and the only way I found out about that game is because the developers post TikToks regarding their progress. Even though the game still looks like it's in a very early stage and I know nothing about game development, like you said, I still thought it was so intriguing and captivating to see, and now I'm supporting the game. Best case scenario, more people find your project and want to support you. Worst case scenario, the only people that view the videos are the people that are already supporting you, in which it makes no difference. What I think you meant was that you don't want that many eyes to be on your game, because even you are scared of getting the iron hammer of the law from Marvel. Now, I will admit, I did go through Marvel's streams and it does seem like he has a lot of streams where he does talk about the game, but that is it, just talking about it. I cannot find any of the animation streams that he references. However, I will take his word for it and just assume it is only for paid members. If you want me to get more accusatory though, I think you do not have anything at this point. I think you did have something, but for whatever reason it had to be scrapped and restarted because maybe you didn't like it or maybe you lost some files or whatever. Please, I would love to be proven wrong. Show me that you do have something. Anyways, he insults me yet again, who would have guessed, and at that point clicks off the video. I should make it clear that I do not care if you choose to support him. I've said this before, but you get to choose who you want to support. However, it is always important to know exactly who you are supporting. A man-child that cannot take criticism and resorts to basic bullying, not to mention one who so comfortably and easily laughs at other people's misfortunes, medical conditions, all of that, as if they have no feelings at all either. Me personally, I don't anymore. I've been ridiculed, insulted all my life pretty much, and at this point I'm honestly kind of used to it. I really don't give a shit. I also know people will continue to insult me for the rest of my life. It's not gonna change at this point. However, I'm not gonna let that stop me from growing as a person, and you shouldn't either. Do not let some fragile ego man-child's negative comments affect how you choose to guide through life. There's only one person in your life whose opinion you should care about, and that is your own, and do not let that opinion be influenced by others. Anyways, all that's left to say now is thank you, Mr. Manchild, for making me leave my perfect little out-of-town getaway and run back home to make this video, and then force me to run all the way back out of town. Still, grow the fuck up. I know for a fact he's not gonna give a shit about anything I said in this video, and he's going to continue insulting me, and I'll just say it right now. I do not care, and I will not be making another video on you. I will be going back to working on the videos I actually want to. Thank you to every single one of you that watched this video, all my Pookie Club members, my subscribers, and you, the viewer alone. Always remember, don't let negative comments get to your head, live the life you want to, and ciao ciao.